from Lake Colton, historical battleships and their common captain, Luis Clemente from Lives. Images that remind of terrible battles of war, atrocities of countless human fates. Rebuilding battleships has been Clemente's hobby for over 3 decades. But almost as great as the enthusiasm is also the danger of being misunderstood as a glorifier of war. It's not war games, and we make that clear from the start. We said it. We don't let the impression arise at all that we want to play war. Anyone who knows us, who talks to us and knows our goals, knows exactly that we don't glorify, but rather think about the senseless efforts that were asked for and unfortunately still exist today. A regular coming and going prevails in the ground level rooms, which are both workshop and exhibition space, the mix of fascinating technology and creepy war imagination makes the special appeal of these heavyweights. We started building 32 years ago in the winter of 1962, and in a small scale, 180 meters. These are ships about 3 meters long, which we made first. Luis Clemente started small and in sheet metal construction. That has changed in the meantime. But the motto for this hobby has remained: to remember the tragedies so that they are not repeated. This also applies to the last ship from the Clemente workshop, the Viribus Unitas. The ship is 8 meters long, as you see, 1.32 meters wide, has a 60 HP engine and can accommodate 3 crew members. This is the last ship that Emperor Franz Joseph named after his personal motto. The Viribus Unitas was the flagship of the Austrian battleship of the Austro-Hungarian Navy. In 1912, it was launched in Trieste. Only 6 years later, the ship was blown up by Italians and sunk in the port of Pola. The replica of the Viribus Unitas is Clemente's largest model. The Austrian Maritime Association provided me with some plans and encouraged me to create something for the Austrian Navy. And although I had the intention for a long time of not doing anything more, spatially it was already very tight. I really decided to give in to the pressure and then produced the Viribus Unitas in a rare scale of 1920. Watch out, it's heavy. Clemente's hobby has a special dimension in more than one way. The components are practically all made from old used materials, such as decommissioned swimming pool walls. It's like walking in a bunker. Everyone comes as they please and it's fun. Such a hobby requires teamwork. In Lifers, it's a trio, Luis Clemente and the Zaffoni brothers, who spend most of their free time on hobby shipbuilding. Each of us is equally important, says Clemente, and in every project there are multiple heads. It is a shared fascination that connects the 3 of them. Clemente once wanted to become an engineer, but for such wishes, he was unfortunately born in an unfortunate time. War and poverty thwarted his plans. I am fascinated by the technology, the history of the ships, and I want to say the fulfillment of a youth dream, to be able to work in this field myself, which I unfortunately did not fulfill. Even with the heart of the ship, the engine, the tinkerers rely on used parts. The trio from Lifers refurbished the former engine of a sprayer themselves. You get in there. The part is the same for all 4 ships from the grasses on the way, and the crew now here over the banks and in there. The crew, it looks better this way. 6-1, there you see the propulsion system in the engine. There the man, the 4th ship, and in the back the others, who are still sitting a bit roughly on the floor, who can ride along, 2 to 3 men. If Luis Clementi had wanted to capitalize on his rare hobby, he probably would never have. Started it. He was aware of this from the very beginning. But a true hobby does not live on financial success, but on personal enthusiasm, on the joy that grows steadily as the time of completion approaches. Clementi has shown his ships in several exhibitions and demonstrations, for example in the German Museum in Munich, in Salzburg, on the Arno in Florence. It is, so to speak, the reward of the audience for many years of work.
It doesn't happen very often that Clementi and his 2 friends take their important work out of the workshop. Bureaucratic regulations for the transport of battleships, time consumption, the general commotion, all breaks on too much enthusiasm. Music. But when these floating witnesses of technical brilliance and military madness are once in the water, despite all the effort and hurdles, then for the hobbyist trio and their friends, it's a good reason to celebrate. And for the captain, an opportunity to let his childhood dream run free. Music. Music.